Greetings, this is Charles McCall with Mentoring Growing Leaders, and this is lesson number 3 in our short series on strategic planning. Everybody, this has just been my experience, everybody needs to continually develop their skills in strategic planning. If you're a mother, if you're a father, if you're a leader at any level, you need to develop your skills in strategic planning. And in this series, I'm going to give you some real keys. Right now, we're just laying some foundations with some thoughts about knowledge and wisdom and experience, but we're going to be getting into some very specific things, and you will get as much out of this as you put into it. If you just listen to it and then you go on with whatever you're doing, you're not going to get very much out of it. You're not going to see very much change in your situation. But if you listen to it and if you think, if you go away someplace and you think and you can apply it. Okay, so what can I do? So take notes, listen to these short videos more than once, and think, how can you apply it? And by the way, I'm available by Facebook, I'm available by phone call and by various social media, email, things like that. I can come, we can meet, we can have coffee. And so I'm available to you to help you think through some of these things as well, all right? And so lesson number 3, we just want to focus on a couple points. One is you must know where you're going before you ask others to follow you. You will need others to help you. You're not going to be able to do it on your own. You must know where you're going. You must know your destination. And once your personal, we say in your notes here, once your personal and organizational mission is defined, the methods become easier to clarify as well. Very key. Once you know what your personal mission is, where are you going in life? What kind of a person are you? What do you want to get out of life? What do you feel that God wants you to do in life? Once that is somewhat clear, and it may not be 100% clear for a long time, if ever, but once you're pretty clear on what your mission is in life is, at least for this season of life. I have a series on the seasons of life. It's very important for you to listen to that one as well. But once your personal mission, once you know where you're going and kind of what that looks like, and once you know what your organizational mission, if you're going to start a business, if you have a project, you have to see the end. So that's really what we're trying to say here. Everything starts with a vision. Vision for who you are and what you want to do in life, and vision for what you want to accomplish. Everything starts with the end in mind. So many people, they start a project, they start a job, they start a business, and they don't see the end. They just kind of stumble through and they see a few feet in front of them, a few meters in front of them, a short distance in front of them. They don't see the long-term picture because they have not taken the time to plan. We're going to open a restaurant. Okay, so what do we want this restaurant to be like? What do we hope it's going to be like? And we know that we're going to have to make adjustments over the months and years. But what do we want? What kind of restaurant? Is it going to be only one restaurant? Is it going to be several restaurants? What's the atmosphere? How many employees? What does it look like for the future? Will I be the one that is running it all the time? Or will eventually I have someone else managing this restaurant? Will I go off and do something else? It's a project. It may be a weekend project. You must think, you must start with the end in mind. The key to success, you must think through, what is this going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? All right? And so if you're in a church, this might be a Bible class, it may be a children's program, it may be worship, it may be a church service. If you're planting a church, you have to think through, what is this going to look like further down the line? If it's a business, if it's a governmental organization, if it's an orphanage or something that is reaching out to the poor, or a project, whether it's big or whether it's little, you must stop and take the time to think through. What's it going to look like? And you may not have 100% clarity. That's okay. But you must know what your personal and your organizational mission is. And once you understand that, then how to do it becomes much easier. If you don't know where you're going, then you don't know what road to take to be able to get you there. And so I have several different lessons on vision in my Leadership 101 course. I've got 2 lessons on vision, and I would really recommend that you go back and you take the time to look at those 2 lessons on vision. And I have another short series called 5 Characteristics of Every Leader, and one of those characteristics is vision. And so I really recommend that you go back. There's no point in strategic planning if your vision is not clear. And so you might just want to go back and view those 2 or 3 lessons on vision and start writing some things down to get some clarity first. Now, someone said, in fact it was H. Janley Judd said, a good plan is like a roadmap. It shows the final destination and usually the best way to get there. So we're talking about strategic planning. Strategic planning is a roadmap to get you to your destination. If you don't know what your destination is, that's a problem. And so that's called vision. And so you want to know what your destination is. You want to be able to see the business, see the end of the project, what's it going to look like, the church, whatever service you're doing. And so it's a good plan is like a roadmap. It shows the final destination and usually the best way. I appreciate what he said. Usually the best way. And our very final lesson in this series is going to be on the 9 steps that are necessary to complete a project. And one of those steps is adjustment. We will always have to make adjustments. A plan means we think it's going to be this way. We hope it's going to be that way. We're preparing for it to be this way. But it may not turn out, and so you may have to adjust. And so the plan usually brings you to your destinations, but sometimes you may have to take a detour. Sometimes you may have to create a new road. You may have to change some things on the way, but we'll get to that. So thank you for listening to lesson number 3, and I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to this channel and to like this video and click the bell button so that you're notified the next time I put a video up. And if this is helpful to you, or you think it might be helpful to someone else, please copy the link and send it to them so that they can get the benefit of it as well. Thank you so very much, and let's move on to lesson number 4.